Today we are talking about the 2016 hit Central Intelligence, a movie that mixes action, friendship, awkward past memories, and nonstop humor in a way that makes it a perfect family watch. And we will break down why this film still works so well, what makes it funny, what makes it emotional, and why audiences keep coming back to it even years later. The movie Central Intelligence 2016 is basically built on a simple idea. What happens when your past completely catches up with you in the most unexpected way? And it takes that idea and turns it into a full ride of comedy and action without ever feeling too heavy or too complicated. And that is one of its biggest strengths because it keeps everything simple, easy to follow, and very entertaining for all types of viewers, especially families looking for something light but exciting. At the center of the story, we have Bob Stone, played by Dwayne Johnson, and Calvin Joyner, played by Kevin Hart. And the chemistry between these two is the real engine of the movie, because it plays on contrast. Bob is huge, confident, physically powerful, but emotionally still holding onto his insecure school days, while Calvin is small, careful, and stuck in a boring routine life that feels far from his teenage dreams. And when these two worlds collide, the comedy just naturally comes out of their personalities rather than forced jokes, which is why the humor feels so natural and rewatchable. One of the strongest things about Central Intelligence is how it uses childhood memories and awkward school experiences as the foundation for comedy. Almost everyone can relate to being judged or embarrassed during school years. So when a movie brings that past back in an exaggerated way, it connects instantly with the audience. And this is where Kevin Hart shines because his reactions feel real, fast, and extremely relatable, while Dwayne Johnson balances it with his calm but overly intense energy that makes even simple situations feel funny. The premise of the movie is also very clever in a simple way. It takes the idea of an old school friend returning after years of silence, but twists it into a spy comedy where nothing is as normal as it seems. And Calvin is suddenly pulled into a world of spies, double agents, and dangerous missions. But the movie never loses its comedic tone, even in serious moments, which is what makes it suitable for a family audience, because the tension is always broken with humor or awkward dialogue that keeps things light. Now, what really makes Central Intelligence stand out compared to other comedy action films is how it balances action and humor without letting one overpower the other. Many movies either become too serious when action starts or too silly when comedy takes over. But here the balance is maintained through character interactions, not just explosions or jokes, and that makes the experience smooth and entertaining from start to finish. Dwayne Johnson's role is especially interesting because he plays against his usual tough action hero image. But instead of just being a serious, strong character, he adds emotional layers and comedy timing that make Bob Stone feel like more than just a spy. He feels like a man who never got over his past, and that emotional angle gives the movie more depth than expected. Kevin Hart, on the other hand, brings his classic fast, talking, nervous energy. But in this film, it works even better because his character Calvin is not just scared for no reason. He is someone who once had big dreams but lost confidence over time. So when he is thrown into dangerous situations, his reactions feel believable and funny at the same time, and this combination creates many of the movie's most memorable scenes. Another strength of Central Intelligence is its rewatch value, because even if you know what happens, the jokes, timing, and character chemistry still feel fresh, and you start noticing small details in their interactions that make the comedy stronger the second or third time you watch it. Especially the way Bob constantly tries to act normal but fails in the most unusual ways. And Calvin constantly tries to survive situations he never asked for. The movie also uses action scenes not just for excitement, but also for comedy timing, meaning even chase scenes or fight moments often include funny reactions or unexpected behavior that keeps the tone from becoming too serious. And this makes it easier for families to enjoy together without worrying about heavy violence or dark themes. However, like every film, Central Intelligence also has some weaknesses, and one of them is that the story is not very complex or unpredictable. Once you understand the main idea, you can kind of guess where things are going, but the movie does not rely on surprise twists. Instead, it relies on personality and comedy. So if someone is looking for deep storytelling or complex spy plots, They might find it too simple, but for a casual entertaining watch, this simplicity actually becomes a strength. Another small weakness is that some jokes feel a bit repetitive, especially when Calvin keeps reacting in panic mode repeatedly. But because Kevin Hart delivers those moments with energy and timing, it still works most of the time, and the audience does not get bored easily. The supporting characters in the movie also play a role in keeping things interesting, but the film clearly focuses more on the main duo, so sometimes side characters feel underused. But again, this is not a major problem, because the main chemistry is strong enough to carry the entire movie. When we talk about family friendliness, Central Intelligence performs quite well because it avoids extreme violence, avoids heavy language compared to many modern comedies, and keeps the tone light even during conflict scenes, which makes it a safe option for a weekend movie night with family or friends, especially if you want something funny, action-packed, and easy to follow without stress. Another interesting point is how the movie subtly talks about friendship and identity, because at its core, it is not just about spies or missions. It is about how people change over time and how past relationships can still affect your present life. And the film explores this in a light way, without becoming too emotional or dramatic. It just adds enough heart to make the comedy feel meaningful. The direction of the movie keeps things fast-paced. There is rarely a dull moment. And even when the story slows down, it usually introduces a comedic interaction or character moment that keeps attention high, which is important for a movie designed for mass entertainment rather than critical depth. If we compare Central Intelligence to other buddy comedy films, it stands out because of its unique casting choice. Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart are very different physically and personality-wise, and that contrast alone creates a lot of humor. While other buddy movies often rely on similar types of characters, here the difference is extreme, and that makes every interaction feel more exaggerated and fun. The movie also benefits from strong timing and dialogue. Many jokes are not just about what is said, but how it is said, and the pauses, reactions, and facial expressions play a huge role in making scenes funny, especially when Bob takes things too literally or when Calvin overthinks simple situations. One more reason this movie works so well is because it does not try to be too smart or too serious. It knows exactly what it is, a fun action comedy with heart, and it fully commits to that identity, which is why audiences respond positively, because there is no confusion about tone or purpose. It is simply made to entertain. Over time, Central Intelligence has become one of those comfort movies for many viewers, something you can put on when you want to relax, laugh a bit, and enjoy a simple story without needing full concentration. And that is a very valuable type of film in today's world of complex storytelling and heavy themes. In conclusion, Central Intelligence 2016 works because of its strong lead chemistry, simple but effective story idea, balanced comedy and action, and its ability to stay light and entertaining for a wide audience. Even if it is not a deep or highly complex film, it succeeds in what it aims to do, which is to make people laugh and enjoy a fun ride from start to finish. And that is why it still holds up as a great family-friendly comedy action movie. So now I want to ask you, what do you think about Central Intelligence? Did you enjoy the chemistry between Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart? And do you think this kind of simple comedy action movie is better than modern, overcomplicated films? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.